These are 10 of the most sacred places on Earth, temples, shrines, and holy mountains that millions of people can see with their own eyes, but will never, ever be permitted to enter. Some are sealed by ancient curses, others by imperial decree, a few by laws that have sparked Supreme Court battles, and one hides a treasure worth $22 billion behind a door that modern technology still cannot open. Let's start in the Japanese city of Ace. The Ice Grand Shrine reaches back roughly 2,000 years, making it one of the most ancient continuously sacred sites in all of Shinto practice. Dedicated to Amaterasu Omikami, the sun goddess herself, the shrine complex sprawls across a dense forest and draws over 6 million visitors every year. But here's what you can't do. Sure, you can visit, you can walk through the forest, you can approach the outer grounds, but you'll never see the inner sanctum. The main sanctuary hides behind multiple layers of high wooden fences, and even the small window in the outermost fence stays covered with a curtain. The most you'll glimpse is the golden crest at the top of the roof. Inside, behind all those barriers, rests the Yata no Kagami, the sacred mirror, one of the 3 imperial regalia of Japan, objects so important they're indispensable to the succession of the imperial throne. Only members of the Japanese imperial family and a handful of select shrine priests may enter. The current high priestess, Sayako Kuroda, is the daughter of Emperor Akihito, and every 20 years, the entire shrine gets ritually demolished and rebuilt from scratch, a cycle representing the Shinto understanding of death and renewal. The most recent reconstruction in 2013 cost 57 billion yen, roughly $550 million, funded entirely by private donations. Now let's stay in Japan, but head to the mountains. Mount Omine in Nara Prefecture houses Ominasanji Temple, the headquarters of Shugendo Buddhism, founded in the late 7th century by the legendary ascetic Enno Gyoja. For over 1,300 years, this mountain has maintained an unbroken tradition as a male access-only sacred peak. A 13-foot stone pillar at the main trailhead reads plainly, "From here onward is the zone restricted to women." The ban has no legal enforcement today, and feminist activists have breached it in protest over the years, but no trespassing charge has ever been filed. The mountain received UNESCO World Heritage status in 2004, which reignited debate. Critics call the ban an outdated violation of human rights. Defenders point out that Mount Inamura nearby is reserved exclusively for women, sometimes called Nyonin Omine, or Women's Omen. UNESCO itself has stated that universal access isn't a requirement for World Heritage designation. From Japan, we travel to southern India and the forested hills of Kerala. Sabarimala Temple, dedicated to the celibate deity Lord Ayyappa, has become one of the most fiercely contested sacred sites in the world. For decades, women and girls of reproductive age between 10 and 50 were legally barred from entering. In 1991, the Kerala High Court upheld the practice, but in September 2018, the Indian Supreme Court overturned the ban by a 4-1 verdict, ruling that excluding women based on biological differences violated the Constitution. Justice Indu Malhotra, the lone woman on the bench, was the sole dissenter, arguing courts shouldn't interfere with essential religious practices. On January 2, 2019, 2 women, Bindu Amini and Kanaka Durga, became the first to enter the temple following the ruling. The temple was immediately closed for a purification ritual. Protests erupted across Kerala. Today, the case remains unresolved. A 9-judge Supreme Court bench is now hearing review petitions, making Sabarimala one of the most important constitutional debates in modern India. Staying in Kerala, we find something even more mysterious. The Padmanabhaswamy Temple in Thiruvananthapuram is believed to be the richest religious institution on earth. In June 2011, the Supreme Court ordered 5 of the temple's underground vaults opened. Inside, investigators discovered gold thrones, diamond-encrusted crowns, thousands of coins, and precious stones, a collection valued at approximately $22 billion. But one vault was never opened. Vault B. Its entrance is sealed behind layers of iron and wood, with a final iron door adorned with carved cobras. According to temple tradition, this vault is protected by Naga Bandham, a serpent spell, and can only be opened by someone with deep spiritual authority using sacred chants. Modern attempts to physically open the door have failed. It remains jammed shut. 2 additional vaults, designated G and H, were rediscovered in 2014 and also remain unopened. Nobody knows what's inside. Now let's cross the Arabian Sea to Greece. Mount Athos is a self-governing monastic republic on a peninsula jutting into the Aegean Sea. Home to 20 monasteries and around 2,000 monks, it has banned women from entry since the year 382, over 1,600 years. The prohibition, known as Avaton, extends 500 meters offshore. Only 100 Orthodox and 10 non-Orthodox male visitors are permitted per day, each requiring a special permit. The European Parliament passed a resolution in 2003 requesting the ban be lifted, calling it a violation of gender equality. It changed nothing. The monks maintain that the peninsula is the Garden of the Virgin Mary, dedicated to the Theotokos as its sole female presence. There is one legendary exception. Empress Helena, wife of Emperor Stephen Dushan, reportedly visited to escape the plague, but avoided breaking the ban by never touching the ground, being carried in a litter for her entire stay. From Greece to Nepal, Pashupatinath Temple in Kathmandu, dating to at least the 5th century, sprawls across 246 hectares and contains 518 mini-temples. It's the most revered Hindu temple in Nepal, but non-Hindus cannot enter the main complex. You can observe from terraces across the Bagmati River, but that's as close as you'll get. Even practicing Hindus of Western descent get turned away. An exception is granted only to Sikhs and Jains of Indian ancestry. At the heart of Mecca stands the Kaaba, the sacred cube-shaped structure inside the Grand Mosque. Muslims worldwide face it 5 times a day in prayer. Millions circle it during Hajj, but almost no one enters. The doors open roughly once a year for a ceremonial cleaning, and only religious leaders, Saudi officials, and select guests are permitted inside. Most Muslims who spend their entire lives in Mecca will never see its interior. Non-Muslims, of course, cannot enter the city at all. In Rajasthan, the Karni Mata temple is famous for its approximately 20,000 holy rats, called Kaba, that roam freely through the complex. Visitors can walk among them, but the innermost sanctum, where Karni Mata's sacred image resides, is accessible to only one person, the Baridari, a specially appointed individual who lives day and night in the temple for a month-long rotation, unable to leave the temple boundaries. In Jerusalem, the Temple Mount is accessible to visitors of all faiths, but the site of the ancient Holy of Holies, the innermost sanctum of Solomon's temple, where God's presence was believed to dwell, is forbidden ground. After Israel captured the site in 1967, the chief rabbinate declared that no Jew should walk upon the Temple Mount at all, because the exact location of the Holy of Holies is unknown, and stepping on that ground unknowingly would be a profound transgression. An ancient stone inscription from the Herodian era once warned, "Whoever is caught, on himself shall he put blame for the death which will ensue." Finally, along the ancient Silk Road in China's Gansu province, the Mogao Caves near Dunhuang contain some of the most precious Buddhist murals and manuscripts in existence, some over 1,500 years old. Several caves are open to tourists, but the most fragile, most ancient chambers are permanently sealed. Even authorized researchers must pass strict government and conservation approvals to enter. 10 sacred places, 10 locked doors, each one a reminder that some spaces were never meant for all of us, that in a world where almost everything can be accessed, streamed, or toured, there are still thresholds that humanity has chosen to leave uncrossed.